Birmingham, Alabama, 1985. Police arrest Anthony Ray Hinton, the man they believe committed 3 armed robberies that left 2 restaurant managers dead and a 3rd wounded.
To be accused of murder, to me, it don't get no worse than that.
Anthony, or Ray, still remembers the arresting officer's chilling words.
There's 5 things that are going to convict you. Number 1, you black. Number 2, a white man is going to say you shot him. Whether you shot him or not, believe me, I don't care. He said, number 3, you're going to have a white prosecutor. Number 4, you're going to have a white judge. And number 5, you're going to have an all-white jury.
On parole for petty theft, the 29-year-old was living with his mom and working as a day laborer. His claims of innocence would fall on deaf ears, including those of his court-appointed lawyer.
What do you do when you tell a lawyer that you're innocent and he looks at you and say, the problem with that statement, all of y'all always doing something, and the moment you get caught, you say you didn't do it. What do you do with that?
Despite the fact Ray had an ironclad alibi for at least one of the robberies and the lack of solid evidence, prosecutors pushed for a conviction. Their key piece of evidence? Expert testimony claiming the ballistics report of the bullets pulled from the victims matched a handgun found in Ray's home. An all-white jury would find Ray guilty of 2 counts of capital murder and sentence him to death by electric chair.
It's hurt so bad. Why me? What did I do? I even asked God, what did I do so bad?
Ray's mother, Bueller, and his best friend, Lester Bailey, were crushed by the outcome.
Your natural reaction was, it's over. He's going to be executed.
At Holman Correctional Facility, Ray's cell was a mere 30 feet from the execution chair they called Yellow Mama. Ray would spend his time fighting not only a legal system that would block every one of his appeals, but the bitterness in his heart.
The first 3 years, I was in a stage of hating. I hated those men that did this to me.
Ray began to realize the person he had become wasn't the one his mother had raised him to be, a man who loved God and followed the example of Jesus Christ.
I asked God to remove this hatred. But in order for me to be free, I had no choice but to pray for those men that did this to me.
So Ray made a decision.
If this what God intended for me to be and die, this is where I die. But while I'm here, everything around me gonna live. I'm going to bring the best out of everybody that come in touch with me.
One of those people was Henry Hayes, a KKK member on death row for lynching a black teenager.
I truly believe God sent me to death row to meet Henry Francis Hayes and to show him what real love felt like, and real love had no color.
During their unlikely friendship, Ray saw God change Henry from a man full of hatred to one who knew God's love and had found redemption in Jesus Christ. Ray still remembers one of their last conversations before Henry's execution in 1997.
I said, Henry, I truly believe that you're going to heaven. And Henry said, well, you know, Ray, I've been reading the Bible and I have changed my views on so many things. I finally looked at you as a human being.
As for Ray, the courts would continue to block his appeals for a retrial. Then in 1998, the Equal Justice Initiative, or EJI, decided to take Ray's case. Among their efforts for criminal justice reform, the nonprofit provides legal aid to those who've been imprisoned unjustly.
We just knew that it was just a matter of time, and we had the faith that one day it was going to be all right.
EJI's probe into Ray's trial was disturbing. Among their findings, witnesses had been manipulated, Ray's defense counsel was inept, and the surviving victim's initial description of the assailant bore little resemblance to Ray. But it would be a single piece of evidence that held the key to proving Ray's innocence. EJI lawyer Charlotte Morrison explains.
We hired 3 of the nation's best firearms experts, and they looked at the evidence, and they said, there is no match here. The only evidence that the state ever had claimed connected Mr. Hinton did not exist.
Despite the new evidence, the courts still refused to reopen Ray's case. Then another crushing setback. Ray's mother, who had visited him almost every week since his incarceration, died in 2002.
I don't think the society nor the men that did this to me realized what they took from me.
Then, in 2014, the U.S. Supreme Court agreed to hear Ray's case. By unanimous vote, the court ruled to grant Ray a new trial.
I've always felt that I had the supreme lawyer. I don't believe the God that I serve is going to let me die for a crime he know I didn't commit.
In April 2015, the state of Alabama dismissed all charges against Ray when state ballistics experts were unable to match the bullets to the handgun. 2 days later, after serving 30 years in prison for a crime he didn't commit, Ray was released.
Only by the grace of God. I mean, only.
It was an overwhelming day, and it should never have taken that long.
For Ray, it was a bittersweet moment.
For your mom not to be here the day that you were released, to run into her arm and say, "I'm home, Mom," I try my best to be the son that she brought me up to be.
Now a community educator with EJI, Ray is doing what he can to bring reform to the justice system. He's also written a book about his journey of forgiveness and redemption, hoping his story will inspire change and healing.
Jesus didn't say, "Hey, when an enemy come across you, I want you to hate him." That ain't what he said. Love your enemy. The only way that we will ever conquer hate is love.
Let those words ring in your soul. The only way to conquer hate is through love. Anthony's not just spouting some truth that he's read in a book. It's a truth that he's lived, and he's had to live it the very hard way. Anthony's book is called The Sun Does Shine. It's available wherever books are sold. If things have happened in your life where you're holding on to bitterness, you're holding on to anger, you're holding on to unforgiveness, we've got a free study for you on forgiveness. All you have to do is call us. We'd be glad to send it to you. There's no financial obligation at all. We'll send it to you either as a PDF. If you don't have computers, that's okay. We'll send you a hard copy if you want. All you have to do is call us, 1-800-700-7000, or you can go to cbn.com, and there's stages of forgiveness. And I speak from my own life and my own experience. And this will help walk you through that, both in terms of forgiving your enemies, forgiving a justice system, forgiving the society, forgiving the circumstances. But then it gets very personal. And sometimes the hardest one to forgive is yourself. So if you're caught in that, where you're saying, well, I knew better, I should have done better, I should have done it differently, why did I do that? All of those thoughts, forgiveness can come to you where you can forgive yourself. Again, if you'd like it, absolutely free, 1-800-700-7000. Hello, I'm Gordon Robertson. Thanks for watching the video. Be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more encouraging videos like this one. Welcome to the 700 Club Interactive family, and God bless you.